Alright, it's the 1st of February. I got my rocker arms all put together. I still haven't adjusted them. They're still loose. If you can see it, there's a cork in there. I had to hunt all over heck to find corks this day and age. That one has corks in it. This one had corks in it. I've had WDs and WC engines that had corks in them too. But I cleaned the rocker shaft out and cleaned all these parts up, and I had the little tips here where these valves ride on there. I got ground them off because they had notches in them, and they were real bare to adjust the valve clearance when they're got notches in them. But got everything oiled up. I actually put some oil in the motor so that when I adjust the valves, I'll be turning the oil pump and priming everything up. I don't know, just kind of a slow going thing. But that part's done. Put that back on there. Couldn't find my nuts to hold the rocker shaft down. Today I'm working on rebuilding this carburetor. The kit, here's what we got. Seen this carburetor, and I really don't know what it is other than the thing had the catalog had a listing for Allis Chalmers B, so that's what I ordered. And it was a complete kit or something. There was different ranges of kits, but there's a felt packing that goes back in here, and a little brass cap, and a little cap there, and this is the idle screw, and yeah, I have to put the float on there now, and I have to be able to get this orifice out here. Not sure what that is. What do they call that? 24. They call that the jet well vent. So I gotta try to get that out of there. And I've cleaned this stuff up. Sprayed a little paint on it so it wouldn't be so ugly looking. So let me see if I can get that out. And I'll get the float on the top half of the carburetor. I got a new needle and seat for it. So and then I have to get the choke shaft put in it. One thing I did find that it was interesting. Now, I took this off. I don't know what this is off of, but I've got a couple of these old carburetors laying around. But you see this? That is not an Allis Chalmers part. I think they use these carburetors on international Farmall Cubs and Super A's, stuff like that. So that is not an Allis Chalmers part, obviously. So, all right, let me get to putting some of this stuff together here, and I'll bring you back. All right, I got the new seat in there. That was that well jet. Or yeah, no, what was that? Number 9, idle jet, and I couldn't get the new one to screw in there, so I cleaned the old one up, put it in there. That was all done. I'm ready to put the float on that. I put that's the well jet, and the main jet in there, and it had a fiber washer underneath it. I put the drain cock on there. I put that's a high-speed idle screw, goes in there, and that's the seat for it, and it's in there, and it's got a washer on it. So anyhow, I'm working at putting Where are they at here? These little felt seals on the choke shaft. And they take this little brass cover like that. And that's all it holds them in there. I'll tap it in there, but that's that. Do the other side. That's all it is felt. Actually, they give you pieces of it and they're way too long, so you have to cut them and make them the right length. And that's what that is. And the other seal cover here. And this shaft sticks clear through because one side has this handle on it, and the other side it has a lever that goes back to the operator's platform. So let me get the rest of this together. I still got a bunch of parts here. They did give me new screws for the plate. I got new ones. There's one of them. The rest of them's here. But anyhow, they give me these little seals, but they wouldn't fit my application. And there's the needle and the bracket for the holder for the float. That's there. So, all right, let me get the choke butterfly in there, and I'll bring you back. Alright, I'm running out of parts here. I got the float and the needle and seat down in there. I don't know if you can see it. Won't focus on it. Maybe. Come on. Anyhow, the floats look a little high. I don't know. I like to have them a little high so that they don't have as much fuel in there rather than the fuel running over the damn thing. But I got the gasket and the venturi in there. Maybe I'll adjust them. They do look a little high. Got the high-speed screw. There is a packing down in here. They didn't send it in the kit, but I pulled it out and it looked pretty good in there. It's just some kind of, it might even be asbestos packing. I don't know what the heck it is. But I got my choke shaft in there and it works. Opens all the way up. Closes up. That little spring, that's a little check valve, lets air through when the choke's shut. So, alright, I'm going to button this thing up. I run out of new parts. I had to get a couple or an extra screw out of another carburetor. I'm not going to use that hose barb. Well, I may use that hose barb to start it, but I'm trying to clean the fuel tank up. But I'm out of new parts, so I guess it's time to be putting this thing together. So I might adjust that. So, alright, I'll bring you back. Alright, I got my I got the carburetor mounted. I got the throttle linkage hooked up. And there's a spring back in there. I'm not sure. I think this goes out here. I think there's a bracket that's supposed to be on here that spring goes to. Choke works, throttle works. I've got keepers in all my linkage. I got the linkage back. This side, this is the governor housing. I've got my magneto on. I got it timed to #1 top dead center. This is my throttle linkage back here to the quadrant. Yeah, I timed that magneto. They want you to bring, I don't know if you can see it in here or not. Right in there. Says fire. And that's, I think the directions say 30 degrees before top dead center, which is really early, but anyhow, so the mag's timed. I got this wiring kit, which I don't know is a universal wiring kit. It got a distributor or a coil wire, and we got 4 spark plug wires, but they're all plenty long. So yeah, we'll have to cut them to length and put the ends on those. I put my temperature gauge in, put my muffler on. I still need to run the rack. Yeah, and turning this thing over. It's got good compression now. I do have oil in it. It's getting real close. I need to get the water pump put on it and run the rack, and I think we're ready for some gasoline. I'd like to turn it over enough. Yeah, maybe I'll take the spark plugs out and crank it over enough till I get oil pressure at least. Yeah, make sure I got oil to the top of the head. All right, I'll bring you back here. I'm gonna cut some ignition wires and get the spark plug wires hooked up. So I'll bring you back. All right. All they did is cut them to length. And you got to slip that brass. First you got to put the boot over top of it. Then put that brass in there. Or skin the wire back and put that brass on there. And that's all I did to them. I don't know if that was right or wrong. Pop that in. Put the wires on. And I'm beginning to remember why I like diesel. The wires just seem to be, I mean, they're good wires and all. It just, I don't know why they went bad. And they're steel cord wires. They're not graphite or something like that. But yeah, I got plenty extra wire down here. So anyhow, that side's ready to go. I did use some muriatic acid. I dumped that in this gas tank. You see what it kind of did up here. It did eat the rust off of it. And it's, see if I can get my flashlight out here. It's over the bench. Hold on here. It's getting real close. I'm surprised. The smell coming out of there, but that gas tank is cleaning up really nice. And it's been in there. That's the acid. The brown slimy stuff. And that's the pitted bottom. But it's cleaned that up really well. It's been in there 24 hours now. I've been shaking around. I did put, there they are. I put a handful of nails in there just to kind of scour the bottom and shake it around here and flip it over and let it sit on the other side a little bit. But I'm fairly happy with that tank. The two others I had, one had a hole in the bottom and the other one had a different mounting bracket. It didn't have this deal here. So anyhow, I think this tank's going to be all right. I need to get the outside of it cleaned up and sand it off. Water pump, adjust the valves, and I think we're good to go. I'm going to try to start it. I need to get some oil up to the rockers and stuff. Now, I have added oil. I don't know what's in it now. It's not on the dipstick yet. I had the valve cover off. I put about 2 quarts down the valve cover just to oil everything up. And I need to attach this somewhere too, and I'm not sure where it went. This is a starter. And I want to say it was out here someplace because that's where it kind of fits, but I don't know. Down here it's in play of the brake pedal. Up here, I don't know. I don't know where it went to. And it may not even be mounted right here. I thought they were underneath. I thought the switch is down below, but I think it's been in different places. So the ones I found online, they're up there. So anyhow, that's about enough video for this week here. I'm gonna probably try a few more things, get a few more things buttoned up, shake that tank around a little bit more, and call it a night. So thanks for watching. Alright, I just wanted to show this. I ended up washing this tank out with muriatic acid, and it's got a pit hole in it. So I filled it up with CO2, brazed it up. I'll bring it back.